What do you do?
I'm an assistant to an investment banker, and I have my own company.
With a small dog who is 3 years old and really well behaved, also very cute if you like animals. I don't smoke, I'm a social drinker, and a pretty clean person. A pretty clean person.
No one's perfect.
These are the plaintiffs, Carol and James Castle. They say the defendant's a former renter of theirs, and she was the worst. Loud parties, garbage strewn about, and she also smuggled a dog into the place. Eventually, the woman moved out, tried to use her security to cover the last month's rent, but also left a bunch of damages, and they've got no choice but to sue her, here and now, for the $2,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Melanie Kelly. She says the plaintiffs were at what was supposed to be her apartment frequently and expected her to abide by their rules. That's right, all of a sudden she had roommates. It got to be too much for her. The plaintiffs told her she better move immediately or they'd dispose of all her belongings. As far as leaving damages at the place, she didn't. So there. She's accused of being a rotten renter. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,150 for overpayment of rent.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Carol Castle, James Castle, and Ashley Castle. Ashley is missing, right?
Yes.
Okay. You are suing Melanie Kelly, your former tenant, for $2,000, $1,400 for the rent of December, and $600 for time and travel expenses. Okay, you're counterclaiming against them $1,150. Part of that for December rent that you say they didn't let you fully enjoy because they kicked you out. And the rest for expenses that you say you had to incur and a deposit that you want returned to you, part of it. Tell me what's going on. How did you folks end up as roommates?
My daughter, this was my daughter's apartment originally. She was on sabbatical for a year, and she was doing training in Australia. So she didn't want to give up her apartment, so we agreed to pay half of it because my husband and I go back and forth to the city. So the deal was originally that basically she would have the apartment mostly to herself. I had just had...
Who leased it to her, your daughter or you did? Who does she have the discussions with?
My daughter,
okay.
Ashley.
Do you have any emails or?
I do.
May I see them?
Yes, no problem.
Do you have a contract in writing? Like, do you have a lease?
It was just an email.
Okay.
I have copies of all of her emails as well.
I'm going to get it from both of you now.
Okay.
Hi, just wondering if you have the room for rent still. I'm a 28-year-old working professional. What do you do?
I'm an assistant to an investment banker, and I have my own company.
With a small dog who is 3 years old and really well behaved, also very cute if you like animals. I don't smoke, I'm a social drinker, and a pretty clean person. A pretty clean person.
No one's perfect.
Far from it.
This is your daughter saying, I will be leaving the country for at least a year, so you will be living with my roommate. She is a flight attendant who is in town about 1 week per month. She lives with her husband upstate and just uses the apartment as a crash pad. Are you a flight attendant?
No, but I worked for the airlines. I was not.
Okay, why is she lying and not saying it's my mother and father? Because then she might not get a renter?
I don't know.
We have never smoked in the apartment, so that should not be a problem. According to you, it became a problem.
Yes, it did.
None of us smoke.
Do you smoke?
No.
According to you, he smokes?
Yes.
When is he smoking?
When he was in the apartment.
And in fact, you emailed Ashley about it, right?
I did, yes, because I have bad allergies.
All right, so then what ends up happening? She lives with, you're living together, no, you're living together, you're not living together. How often are you using the place?
Between March and November, probably once a month. And I used to let Melanie know ahead of time that I would be coming, when I would be coming, and then it got to the point that every time I would go down to the apartment, it would be in disarray. We had a problem when she first moved in with having to have the exterminator, and I asked her several times, I made it very clear that she needed to take the garbage out every day, there needed to be no dishes left in the sink overnight, because
And when you would go down there, there'd be dishes?
there'd be garbage. Garbage was always there. There were 2 garbage cans, and they were always full every time I came. And I'd ask her, please take the garbage out every day. I do not want bugs. We've had this apartment for 4 years. We've never had bugs. All of a sudden, we had roaches.
At some point, you asked her to leave. She actually said, I'm leaving, right?
That was later on.
And when you say you're leaving, it's November what?
November the 30th.
Okay, and you're telling them that you're going to leave at the end of December.
December
And what
31st.
reason do you give for leaving? I mean, you don't have a lease, so you don't have to give a reason, but you did give a reason.
I did. I gave multiple reasons. The first reason was there was a male tenant staying for a majority of November, and apparently all of December he was meant to be
Who is
there.
the male tenant?
I believe it was her husband.
Well,
James.
wait a minute.
James.
Aren't you her husband? Okay, that's
was-
the man
it was
who was the
James,
male
so,
tenant, right?
yes,
Like you
James.
would recognize the male tenant.
Yes.
Okay, that's him?
Yes.
Okay, and he was there for how long?
Pretty much the entire month.
Were
He
you
would
there the
leave maybe
entire
a few
month?
days, then come back.
November and December, 4 days a week.
Right, but that wasn't part of your daughter's email to her. She said there was a flight attendant who would use it as a crash pad. How does that mean that she's going to be rooming with your husband, Ashley's dad? I mean,
Because-
you understand how like a young person maybe would not like that.
Originally, when she first discussed subleasing the apartment, a friend of mine who was a flight attendant was going to be there.
Okay, so you changed the terms on her. So,
So,
you admit
well,
you changed the terms on her.
No,
So
I did
They were
not.
never referring to you. Well, there was never anything in there that's talked about a man being there. That's qualitatively different. She can't hang out in her pajamas. She, there's some guy who she doesn't know there. That's kind of different, don't you think?
Well, I do. I agree
Okay,
with you.
so now you give
However-
notice that you're leaving, and that's November 30th. And then there, between November 30th and the day she leaves, which is December 15th, tell me everything that happens then.
I asked her to leave a check for the 1st of December for rent. She didn't answer me. She didn't acknowledge the note. She didn't answer any of my emails, my texts.
And then on the 30th, you tell her, rent's due the 1st, but by the way, use my security for rent.
Yeah, correct. 'cause
Right,
I'm
which you
moving
can't
out.
do. You know
Well,
that. I mean, everybody does it, but they
yes,
can't do
yes,
it.
I
Okay, because
understand
security is security and rent is rent. All right, so now when she tells you I'm using my security for rent, you say, no, you can't do that. You're going to have to get out.
I said, if you don't want to pay rent for December, I can't afford to have you stay here, so you're going to have to leave.
Okay.
And she didn't. And so she got rid of the dog at that point because the one time I came down in November, the carpet had literally been getting worse and worse every time I would come there. This time, it was just totally destroyed. And
How was it destroyed?
It used to be a green carpet. I have pictures of it if you'd like to see it.
Yes, please.
The pictures with the dogs are what the original carpet looked like. It was fairly new at that time.
Do you have a receipt for the carpet that was installed so I can see how new it was?
It wasn't installed. It's an area rug.
Oh, an area rug.
From
Okay.
Pottery Barn.
Do you have a receipt
I
for
do
the
not.
rug so that I know how old it is?
I do not. It was
Okay.
probably, it was less than a year old. So when I went down this last time and it was like totally destroyed,
Oh, that dog is peeing on that thing. There's no
I
question.
asked her,
May I just make one point, please? My
Yeah.
dog had never urinated on that rug until her husband moved in. I was at work when her husband was there. My dog didn't know this person. I'm sure she was frightened.
You then tell her she has to go, and when she tells you that you have to go, according to you, she says a few other things too.
Yeah.
And you have the text. Let me see the text.
Okay.
Melanie, this is to advise you in writing your proposal is not acceptable. Security is not rent. Therefore, you are liable for December rent. Once I have an estimate on the floor and take out for the other damage, rug, ottoman, etc., I will refund the balance of your deposit. If you choose not to pay December rent, then you have 1 week from today to vacate the premises. Now, tell me about the other damage. According to you, there's damage to that rug, which you show me the pictures of. Talk to me about the floor, the ottoman, etc.
the ottoman just has all holes on the top of it.
Do you have a picture?
Yes.
Yeah. And what about the floor?
There are black stains on the floor.
From the urine,
From
I take it?
that pee tray that she had. Apparently, I don't know if it leaked or if it was condensation because there was so much urine Or again, if
Did you have a pee tray in there?
I did on occasion because, again,
Yeah.
she was starting to she was getting upset. People were there when I wasn't there that she didn't know.
You acknowledge that the dog damaged the ottoman, right?
I mean, she was up there.
Okay, so then what happens?
she brought the police in.
What day did the police go over there?
Incident date was the 3rd of December at 5:45 p.m.
Okay, but I'm seeing texts that are on December 2nd. Melanie, I'd hoped we can. She texts you, Carol, what you did with my things is unacceptable. I've notified the police and I know my rights. We've been through this before. You're not to touch my property. So what is she accusing you of having done to her property? And
I picked up her stuff that was in the living room. She had a few.
And put it where?
Put it in a box in the cart with all of her dog stuff alongside the crate that she had the
And
dog
left it
in.
where? In the living room?
In the living room.
So you tidied up. What do you say she did?
So when I came home, she got very aggressive with me. I'm changing the locks. You need to get out now. She used profanity. She followed me into my room where I shut the door, screaming at me. I called the police. I had the police come and explain to her she's not allowed to pack my things, throw my things away. She's not allowed to change the lock. I went in my room and shut the door. At this point, I didn't really have a choice. I didn't have anywhere else to stay at the moment.
You moved out on December 15th.
December 15th.
And you acknowledge that she moved out on December 15th?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have the receipts for the damages from the dog?
This was the person that came to check out the floor.
You have a
Headroom.
counterclaim against him for $1,150 for what?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, did the plaintiffs commit fraud here? What do you think?
I think he did commit. They did commit fraud.
Why?
Well, it's fraud, you know.
Why is it fraud?
Because he wasn't supposed to be there for more than a week.
1 week out of the month.
1 week out of the month, yeah.
Okay, so 4 weeks, 4 days out of every week, that's fraud?
Yes, it is. That's way more days, and that's not what the plaintiff.
And it would make a difference in the living situation.
Yes, definitely.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I'm counterclaiming for half the month of December, as I had to leave on the 15th, and also because she started to pack my things and threatened to throw them out, I had to get temporary storage and also temporary lodgings.
Wait, but the police told her she couldn't do it.
This was before that fact. On November the 30th, evening I gave my notice, she threatened me to take my
I know
things
she
and throw
threatened
them
it,
out.
but and then when she packed the stuff and put it by the side of the door, you call the police because you know your rights, and the police told her that she couldn't do it, and then she didn't do it.
Exactly.
And I really find that you left because it was uncomfortable, not because you had to, because I don't think you had to, because the police put her in her place. So I'm not going to order them to repay you on the storage or the rent. The security deposit, let's just call the security deposit covering rent for December. That's what we're going to call it. So now we got to talk about your damages and how she left the place. The dog did some damage, and if you see that your dog's in a situation where the dog is stressed out and doing some damage, then remove the dog before the dog does further damage. The dog is an animal. You have to put the dog with whoever you had the dog with when you finally figured that out. But in the meantime, it's not like you get to skate on the damage that the dog did. It's the depreciated value of a rug. You acknowledge the stuff on the ottoman, and the pee pad is underneath where she's spotting it. So that's how it goes. Oh, they have a $200 pet deposit of yours.
I had paid that as well.
Got it. So we got to account for that as well. I'm finding in your favor for the entire amount of the floor damage. I'm finding in your favor in the depreciated value of the rug, which you have to understand means what you'd get if you sold it at a garage sale. Okay, that's what it means. All right, if it had not been urinated on, what you would get if you tried to sell your used rug at a garage sale. All right, which I'm allotting a generous $100 to. You don't get replacement cost in court. And I'm also awarding a depreciated value for the ottoman that she acknowledges. That puts me at the amount of $915. The security deposit's already used for December rent, which I find in their favor on, and the $200 of your pet deposit needs to be taken off of that $915. So I find in favor of a net judgment in favor of the plaintiffs in this case in the amount of $715. That now takes care of both the claim and the counterclaim. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
First, we get a chance to see what the defendant thinks about the outcome of this case. What's your feeling on this verdict?
Well, I'm disappointed, but I just really hope it doesn't happen to someone else.
What's that?
Renting from people who are deceitful and don't tell you who they really are.
Right. What was it like there when, what was it, kind of like a strange smoking man hanging around there all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty uncomfortable.
Not what you signed up for?
Not at all.
What was he smoking?
I don't know, you tell me. Living better arrangements now?
I am, yes. It's
okay.
better.
All right,
Much better.
right around this way. All right, so come on out here. And you satisfied how this came out?
Oh, not particularly, but better than.
What's dissatisfactory?
Well, I just felt like she made it seem like my husband was living there full time. My husband was there like a couple days a week for 1.5 months, and we weren't there the whole rest of the time.
Why weren't you 100% straight with her about what she was getting into exactly?
I didn't make those arrangements. My daughter did, and I don't really know why she didn't tell her. Originally, as I said, there was a flight attendant that was supposed to be moving in there. That didn't work out.
Yeah. So?
She had put it on Craigslist that way, and I guess she just left it that way.
Over to Harvey.
She knew I wasn't going to be there.
You know, if this were a lease, like a one-year lease, I think that the defendant could have broken the lease and walked away based on fraud, because I think it was dishonest to misrepresent the living situation, and it was a big deal. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Gloria Hargrove. She says she wrote a book called A Mission in Life, The Journey to Find My Dream, and hired the defendant to edit, publish, and print 300 books for her. Turns out the defendant was nothing more than a big liar who wasted her precious time and money. He did nothing for her, and she wants the $5,000 she's owed returned. This is the defendant, Gabriel Vaughn. He says he's been a book publisher for 20 years, has published 200 books, and won an award for Best Adult Fiction and a Mom's Choice Award for a children's book he published. He has no idea what the plaintiff's beef is because he printed and delivered the agreed-upon 300 books to her, and now he's being sued? Come on. He's accused of being a real bookworm.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff wrote a book called The Mission of Life and hired the defendant to edit it, and says the defendant was a fraud. But the defendant says he did the job. It's the case of my mission in life is to sue you.
Okay, thank you, Douglas. Gloria Hargrove?
Yes.
You are suing Gabriel Vaughn and his publishing company. You've asked us not to mention the publishing company's name. For $5,000, the $4,000 that you paid him, and $1,000 that you feel you've lost in book sales because he botched up the publishing job. Tell me what happened.
Well, what happened was he did write the book for me, and he did give me 300.
Okay, backtrack a little bit, though. So
he did write the book for me, and
the book about what?
The book is about my life and other people, and stories of other people's lives, of things that they went through, because we all went through things in our lives. So that's what the book is about. It's based on my life and other people's lives. And when I went to my publisher, being that I'm a pastor and I think he is a pastor, I said, well, okay, this here should work. I know he'll do good by me.
Did you know him before this?
No, I did not know him.
How did you find him?
I found him through the website, through my husband.
Through what website?
My husband found him. I didn't find him. So my husband told me about him, but when I met him at that time, he seemed to be very nice. So I let him, he said he's a publisher, so I let him publish my book, and I paid him to publish my book.
Publish it where? How?
He didn't do anything. That's the whole thing. When I went to put in my my ISBN number, someone else came up on my book. Another
a different book.
Right, came up on my book. I have all that information. I tried to do it myself. It still didn't work out. He promised to even put my book on his website. He did nothing.
Okay, tell me, do you have a written contract with him? Mm-hmm. May I see it? What's going on?
First, let me respond by saying, she comes to me with a manuscript, that was really a book already printed by another company, and I had to transcribe the words into a new document to reprint what was already printed by another company. Now, when she talks about publishing it, publishing, involves...
Hold on one second. Had it already been published once?
It has not been published. It was written by a publisher that disappeared. And so I went to...
Oh my gosh, you have bad luck with public... Okay, so go on.
I took the book, transcribed it, had it edited, reformatted it, created a new cover, front and back. I took pictures of her for the front cover of the book. I took pictures of her daughter for the back cover of the book. Created a book ready to go to press.
Okay.
When I say ready to press, that's ready to print. The whole process.
Who pays for the printing? Was that part of your deal with her?
There's two different companies here.
They both belong to you?
No.
Okay, were you supposed to print the book, yes or no?
Once she paid for them, yes.
So she has to pay for it. So you would do.
She was only buying. When you say publishing, I'm asking a question about publishing. When she publishes a book, she's not publishing the book. I said the company's publishing the book. They're agreeing to market, sell, and pay a royalty back to the author. She merely wanted to buy copies from the first printing.
And that she would pay for.
And she would buy those just like anybody else.
Just
a
like
bookstore,
anybody else. Okay.
She'd buy those.
So in the end, then that means that I'm just trying to understand your contract. So the end, what that means is that in your contract, you could end up printing 0 books, other than the ones that she
That's
orders.
Correct. I could if I chose to. Yes.
She claims that you also promised that you would put it on your website to try to sell it and everything. I suppose you could do that and only print up what was ordered.
It wasn't the case.
Well, the thing but the thing that made you angry was that when you put in the ISBN, what's an ISBN number? Explain what that is.
It's like a social security number for a book.
Okay, and so when you put that number in that he had given you as the unique ISBN number for the work and register the work with books and print and a wholesaler, publisher will also list the work for purchase on Amazon and the publisher's own website. Publisher agrees to promote and sell the work offered by author. Publisher agrees to maintain an inventory of each of these books and offer them for sale through the retail website. And use its best efforts to sell each title. All right, so which of these did he not do?
He didn't do anything, and he's not being honest here in this courtroom.
And so let's go over what he didn't do. You put in the ISBN number he gave you, and another work came up. Let's talk first about that. What's going on with that?
This comes up.
Stop talking, please. Yeah.
What comes up with that is the time that she made the payment to buy the books. It's in the contract of when she's supposed to pay for it. When it's ready to go to print, she's supposed to pay the remainder for the books. The difference between when she made that last payment and she made the final payment was 2.5 years.
Okay.
In that period of time, 2.5 years, there was no contact. Except an occasional phone call. I'm going to come in Wednesday and pay you money. I'm going to come in at the end of this month when my husband gets a Social Security check.
Okay, but that's fine. But then once she's paid, did she ever reach the point where she was paid up or no?
It never happened until 2011.
Okay.
By that time,
the number was taken up. So why don't you have another number?
No, by that time, that company was dissolved.
What company?
The company that she originally has the contract with that you're reading from.
Your company.
Yeah, the company, yes.
Your company was dissolved.
My company dissolved because I put up with too many people that were deadbeat, never paid their bills.
So
I now work for another company.
When did she pay her last payment?
She paid it in 2011. She came to me after 2.5 years.
You need to listen to my question. Stop getting angry at it, because if I don't understand what you're saying, it doesn't do you any good. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So if you started a new company, all right, and
I didn't start a new company. I went to work for a new company.
Did you take any payments from her after you were going to work for a new company?
When she approached me after 2.5 years, she said, I'm ready to do the books again. I said, I don't know if I can do this. I don't even know if I have those files anymore.
Did you find them?
I told her right then, I said, I'll have to look for them.
Did you find them?
And I said, all I can do is maybe print the books.
Did you find them and continue to do business with her when she surfaced in 2011? Did you accept payment from her when she surfaced in 2011?
Only for printing.
Only for printing.
The new company acquired printing equipment.
Show me the written agreement you have with her with the new company.
There isn't one.
So you thought you were dealing with the same company because he doesn't tell you anything about a new company.
Truthful with nothing that just
I don't want to hear a blanket statement like that. I want an answer to my question, just like I asked him for one.
I did not.
He ever tell you that company's no longer in existence?
No, he did not.
When did you dissolve that company?
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
And then the new company that you are working for is owned by whom?
Do I need to say that in open court?
Is that person married to you?
No.
Does it have the same name as your other company?
No.
Does it have the same word?
Yeah, but so does 100 other companies in Florida have the same word.
Did you ever tell her that the company that she did business with has dissolved and that you are now in a new company?
Yes, but she didn't acknowledge it.
What does that mean, she didn't acknowledge it?
Just like it's hard to explain to you, it's hard to explain to them.
We're all idiots, aren't we?
Yeah. I told her.
Yeah. I'm hoping he didn't hear that. It was a misunderstanding.
I'm not sure. Okay, why don't you try us stupid people again and see if it gets better.
So if the plaintiff just disappears for 2.5 years and then says, okay, now I want you to finish the job, is it just tough luck for the plaintiff?
Yeah, because project demands commitment, then you can't disappear for so long, I guess.
Is that like abandoning the job?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he spent the time working on the book and then didn't want to finish it, so he must not.
Well, are you allowed to not finish it if somebody disappears for 2.5 years? That's the question.
I think that's way too long. Way too long.
So it's like abandoning the project.
Abandoned the project.
There you go. Going inside the courtroom.
Go ahead.
When I told her, I said, all I can do is maybe print the books. I said, because the new company has printing equipment. The old company did not. They sent it off.
Okay, that company, okay, which you owned, which you say is now defunct, I have a question for you. Did it promote and sell the work offered by author? Your answer is no, because you lost contact with her, right?
Could not find her, none of her email addresses, phone numbers,
So you
or
never
physical
promoted and
addresses
sold the
worked
work
anymore.
You never promoted and sold the work.
No.
Publisher agrees to maintain an inventory of each of these books and offer them for sale through the retail website and to use its best efforts to sell each of the titles offered. You didn't do that either.
Number 24 on the contract never was implemented because lost track with the author. They never finished paying.
After you found each other again, the total amount she paid that you took from her was $1,300.
Yes.
What was the $1,300 for?
I said I would print the books if I could find an archive.
Did you?
Yes.
Where are the books?
She got them.
How many copies did you get?
I got 300.
300 copies.
Right.
And did you have a correct ISBN? Did that ever get corrected, the ISBN number?
She'd never been in contact with me to tell me there's a problem with ISBN number.
Did she have contact with you when she paid you 1,300 smacks? Because I think that there's contact there, and she's giving you $1,300. How long does it take to get an ISBN number?
20 seconds for me.
Right. So when she gave you the $1,300, why wouldn't you have a new ISBN number for her? Let me ask you this: before you came to the People's Court because you were getting sued, did you get an ISBN number? Did you take 20 seconds to get an ISBN number for her?
I have plenty of ISBN numbers to assign to new books, yeah.
But you didn't give her one, did you?
Yeah, because she had no agreement with the new company.
You know what? The 300 books that she got does not even come close to making up for her loss of profits for all the years that you spent not delivering what you promised you'd deliver. Pay this lady back her $4,000, okay?
Nah, I think you're a fool.
The plaintiff is giving back her money. Step on in, the defendant right here, the publisher or whatever you call what it is you do. What's your reaction to this outcome?
I think the judge is an idiot. You know, she made a ruling on one company.
All right, head right down this way.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
All right, come on in here. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, I am. You know, God, he's just with this whole deal.
Mm-hmm. What was it like to deal with him?
Oh my God, he sat in court and this, I don't know, he told so many things that was not true.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What's the book about?
It's about my life. It's about my life and other people's lives.
What's happening with it now?
Nothing, because there's nothing I can do with it. I have to be my own self-publisher.
Write another one.
So I do.
You got another book in you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's the next one going to be called?
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
Yes.
Harvey?
It takes 20 seconds to get an ISBN number, and the fact that the defendant didn't do it before coming to court just hurts the defendant's credibility. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Stephen Josh Fasano. He says he left his Kia Sportage at the defendant's repair shop as collateral on a Jeep he was purchasing from him via a payment plan. The defendant then started complaining he had no room to store it. Told him he was tired of being chump changed. And when he went to check on his Kia, the defendant sold the thing on him. He can't believe the nerve of this guy and is not about to let him get away with stealing his car. So he's suing for the $5,000 it cost him. This is the defendant, Jeff Clay. He says the plaintiff brought his Kia in for repair, and he told him it wasn't worth fixing. Then he sold him a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee and told him he had 30 days to get the Kia off his lot because he has limited parking and the thing was an eyesore. He ended up going to Georgia to visit his dad, and when he returned, the Kia was gone. He has no idea what happened to it, but does know one thing, that he owes the plaintiff diddly squat. He's accused of kicking a Kia out. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $450, the balance owed on that Jeep.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff left his Kia at the defendant's repair shop for collateral on a Jeep and claims the defendant sold it right out from under him. But the defendant says the plaintiff essentially abandoned it. It's the case of see ya, Kia.
Thank you, Stephen Josh Vasano.
Yes.
You are suing Jeff Clay and Jeff's Auto Car Care, represented here by Mr. Clay, who is the owner.
Yes.
For $5,000, the amount you paid for a 2000 Kia Sportage, because according to you, it got towed thanks to his negligence. You are counterclaiming $450 that you say he still owes you on a car sale. What's going on?
Well, I brought my car to his shop for repairs. And,
how long ago?
I guess maybe a couple months.
Okay.
And he said he couldn't fix it. He said he was trying to change the sensors in my Kia, and there's one that he couldn't find, or he couldn't like reach or something. So he said, "Well, this car's a piece of crap. So I'm going to sell you another Jeep." So he sold me a different Jeep. I gave him like $750 in like installments, but I still have like a balance of $450. So when I went back there to pay him the rest of the money, my car wasn't there, and he said that he took the car.
When did you buy the car?
I guess sometime in September or August.
September. Well, I need to know specifics. You bought the car in September, and you're supposed to pay the remaining $450 when?
As soon as I got the money up, and I told him I couldn't pay him because I was saving money from my apartment.
Okay, that's not usually how a car sale goes. Okay, that pay me when you can. It's usually there's a time. You're telling me there was no time for you to pay the $450?
There was no time.
Okay, watch this. Was he supposed to pay the $450 within a certain amount of time?
First of all, I want to say it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
For two. What's your last name again? Whatever his last name.
Vasano.
I did work for him, previously.
Just answer my question. Was he supposed to pay the $450 within a certain amount of time?
Yes, he was.
Of course. And what was that time?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. All right. So then 3 weeks come and go, and he doesn't pay you the $450.
He's ducking me, dodging me. He leaves his car, takes his plate off, scrape the stickers, leave the car on the street.
But why
that's
is
not
the
my
Kia
responsibility.
being? Well, that's what I'm wondering is why is the Kia at your shop?
Well, what happened was he brought the car there for an inspection.
Right.
The car it had no brakes, plexiglass in the window. It just needed numerous work. It just needed a lot of work done. Oil leaks. So I said, listen, man, it's a no-go show. I have a customer that has a Jeep. I'm being straight up. I buy this Jeep for $500. It needs a few dollars worth of work. I put the money into it, fix it. He's stressing me. I can't get to work. I need this. I bought the vehicle. My son is my witness because I was actually buying it for him, but he didn't, really wanted it because he saw something else. But besides the point, I put a few dollars into the car. I said, here, I'll sell this to you for $1,200. Meanwhile, where's the money that you had? Because initially the work that I was going to do, it was maybe $600. Where's the initial $600 that you had supposed to have for the Kia being worked on? Oh, well, when I fixed the Jeep, I only have $450. Oh, come on. So I'm like, you know what, out of, the kindness of my heart, I did it again. Okay, listen, I'm giving you 3 weeks to get this car to here and pay me my money.
Okay, so how much did he pay you before you released the car to him?
He paid me $400 that day.
And then you released the car and the title to him?
He gave me another $100.
Okay, but so you released the car to him and the title and everything with $400.
Out of kindness of my heart.
No, that's not kindness of your heart. It's stupidity of your brain. It's a distinction.
You're right about that, too.
Okay, because this is not your brother who's starving and you're giving him food. That's kindness of your heart. Working at a soup kitchen is kindness of your heart. Making a bad business deal is not kindness of your heart. It's foolishness of the brain. All right, so go on. So then he makes payments up to what's missing, which is $450.
Yeah.
All right, so now, why isn't the Kia off your property? That's the part I'm not understanding.
I have pictures for evidence as well.
Okay.
Where he left it on the street. There's 2 flat tires. My landlords, harassed me about it. I moved the Kia off the street, like I said, I have evidence, onto the lot, one of my parking spots or whatever that, I usually park car. It still became a problem with my landlord. Look, you got to move this car. No plates, oil leaking all over the place.
Yeah, but why? Okay, but how come he didn't just take it that day when you're selling him the other car? Why didn't you?
He didn't take it.
Right, but
he took the plates off. I gave him 3 weeks to get this car out of here.
Okay.
He didn't take it. First of all, like
so
I said,
how long was the car there?
Almost 3 months.
3 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why is the car there 3 months?
The car was there for collateral until I came back.
Collateral?
Yes. I tried to keep the car for collateral.
I did say to him in the beginning, give me the title. I'll get a couple of thousand in
No,
junk
but did
yard.
you take the car as collateral?
No, I didn't take the car. The car's worth nothing. I'm taking
I took it for collateral. That was the agreement right there. I said once.
Yeah, but that makes no sense. Are you sure it isn't that you just don't have a place to store it and it'll cost you money to take it off of that place?
No, that's not
because
what
all you had to do was hand him the title.
He
You could
wouldn't give
junk
me back
it.
the car. So I said, keep it for collateral till I give you the rest of the money.
You admit in your complaint that he sweat you to take it off his lot, right? In fact, those are your exact words that he's going on. Well, those weren't your exact words. Those are my exact words. But your exact words were, he complained several times he had no room for my Kia and was tired of me chump changing him. Okay, so how is it then that you have a right to continue to store your car for free on his lot?
If he would have called,
every time I try to call this clown, he's always an excuse. Or I'm in the hospital. He even told my son one day. My son happened to run into him. I didn't come by because I'm afraid. Like in other words, like I intimidate him in some way. What?
You intimidate me, and I'm wearing a black robe.
Okay, so how long does this Kia sit there before it is officially abandoned on the defendant's lot?
30 days. I mean, who leaves a car out for that long?
Is 30 days a magic number, or is that just what you're guessing?
Definitely, I would say 30 to 45 days. Anything longer than that, then they abandoned it.
If you owned that repair shop, how long would you wait and feel comfortable before selling it?
15 days.
15 days?
Yeah.
Woo, you are an impatient lady. Okay, we are going inside the courtroom.
How old are you?
I'm 19, ma'am.
Okay, talk to me.
All right, this is what happened. I ran into him on Jericho and Huntington one time, and I was like, hey, how you doing? I'm not sweating. What's going on between you fathers? What's going on between your fathers? I have no part of that. He said, hey, I've been ducking and dodging you. I've been taking this street all the way down because I don't want to come to shop and avoid seeing you because I'm scared of you. And I'm like, why do you need to be scared? All you got to do is pay us our money, and we just keep it moving. That is all.
According to you guys, he leaves it in the street to begin with?
Yes,
ma'am.
All right.
I have pictures.
Okay, let me see the pictures.
I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? This dude
Did
got
you
me
leave it in
tight.
the street or leave it on his lot?
I left it
originally?
in his lot.
He left it on the street.
I left it behind the sign on his property.
Okay,
He
if the
took up the
guy is
property.
telling you, according to your own testimony, that you must pick up
That's
your
right.
car, that he does not have room for it, why do you not pick it up?
I was working. I didn't have time to pick it up.
And why are you suing for $5,000 when the Blue Book value is barely half of that, if it were in good condition as opposed to messed up condition? So where do you come off suing for $5,000?
It was worth for me $5,000.
This white car is not his car.
Okay.
He's saying
It's a green Kia.
car.
Okay, so this is just demonstrating where he left the car.
Right.
Go ahead. And?
Can I come up and show you?
Yeah, come on up.
Okay. Just go that side.
Come on, right here.
Okay, basically, this is where he left the car on the street right here. Correct?
Okay.
After maybe 2 weeks, what I did, I moved it over here where that Blazer is.
Okay.
My landlord kept harassing me. As you see, this is a tow, it's a tow truck, whatever. I moved it from over there down here, right? The neighbors was complaining because
all these are street parking, though, right? None of these are your parking.
Yeah, none of my parking, street parking.
Okay.
The neighbor kept complaining about it because she couldn't back up, so I moved it from there to where that Maxima is, and I went to see my dad on the 28th. I came back like that following week because I was at the wedding on the 4th, and that's when I get a phone call from him. Where's my car? I said, I don't know. You asked me where your car's at. I don't know. It was there when I left. Mm-hmm. Okay. He may have took it, as far as I'm concerned.
Go ahead, go back to the podium. So did you ever get a notice from the city that they towed your car?
No, I checked.
If he hadn't said that, the first thing you should have done.
Hold on.
He told me that the town took it. I went to the town. They said they had no record of my car being taken from that.
Maybe it got stolen? Did you ever report it stolen?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and it hasn't turned up?
No.
Okay. Well, Mr. Visano, the way I see this, if you yourself admit that he told you on many occasions, I don't have room for your Kia, I don't have room for your Kia, and you choose because you're busy working not to pick it up, who is that on then if something happens to the car? He clearly is not the custodian of your car. I don't think that you in any way, shape, or form left that as collateral. I think it was just free storage for you, so you just left it there because you don't have any use for it, okay? So he is not the custodian of your car, and unless you have evidence that he stole it, I don't know how it is that you can sue him for it. And as for your counterclaim against him for $450, you never paid the guy the $450. You have this crazy story how I get to it when I get to it, and that was our deal. That's never a businessman's. Yes.
Can I say something?
What? Doesn't look like it's going well for you yet?
He had the audacity to come to my shop that Monday with the police, and this man pulled out a knot of money like this, and I'm not giving you nothing. See, if I wasn't in my right frame of mind, I would smack the fire out of him. You understand me?
Okay.
Because he pulled out a lot of money. Meanwhile,
You're making Douglas nervous. Move
you know
over
what I'm
back
saying?
and front. Okay.
I mean, I was really tight when he did that.
Yeah, well, watch this. You owe the man $450. I'm entering a judgment against you for $450, and you're going to pay the man the $450. And on your lawsuit against him, $0. Okay? How's that feel? That feel good?
That feels great.
All righty.
I feel good, Your Honor.
Well, let's see what the plaintiff has to say about what's gone down in the courtroom here. What's your reaction to the outcome?
I wasn't prepared, and I'm not very happy. You know, it was my car. He just got rid of it, and he was lying too. So,
what do you think happened to the car?
I think he went to a chop shop and just got rid of it.
Well, you could have and should have picked it up. You think if you had to do again?
If he called me, I would have picked it up.
He has to call you. How many times does he have to call? How many?
I guess that's enough.
All right. Okay. All right. Right down this way. All right. Come on in here. Step on in here. How you feel? You tight? How you doing?
I'm really relieved about this because the simple fact, I try to work with. You can actually. I mean, I work with anybody, but this man burnt me 2 years ago for a few dollars. I didn't even bring all that up.
What happened there?
I did work on this same car Kia. He never paid me. Never finished paying me. But that's why people like me always going to be above. I stay in business, and the man upstairs always blesses me. And that's how I look at it.
All right. Harvey?
Funny thing happened in that case. The judge was about to rule for the defendant when the defendant just started interrupting. And this is a cardinal rule in any court case. You got to listen to what's going on with the judge and where the judge seems to be going. And if the case is going your way, if you hear the judge and you realize that the other person's on the ropes, there is one thing you have to do, and that is shut up.